The Smith team.
Here we are.
Welcome to the Forward One podcast.
I love it.
Yeah.
Tracy and David,
Yes.
grateful to have you guys here and
Great to be
super
here.
excited to
Great to
learn
be here.
from both
Thanks.
of you.
Oh, it's great to be here, man. Beautiful building.
So where did it all begin?
Small town, South Carolina. I grew up in South Carolina, and I worked for my dad, and he was a water sewage contractor growing up. So every summer since I was 11 years old, I worked for him. I made $500 a week. My parents took it, put it away for me, besides a couple of Matchbox cars and stuff like that. And then that's kind of how I got it. And then he and I developed properties once I got out of college, and mobile home parks. And we did it for others. We did it for ourselves and our family and stuff like that. So that kind of gave me a taste of it. And then I moved out here in 99, and one thing led to another. And I got a job here. I started out in mortgages, and then I met a lot of realtors, and I was like, I can do that. That looks like a better job, actually, dealing with more people. So that's kind of how it went. And then Tracy and I met each other.
Yeah.
And then we flipped a couple of homes, and I'll let you tell your side of the story. But yeah, you were like, I want in. Let's do this.
No. Well, the same, similar. I have a family. My mom was in real estate, single parent. And so that was really exciting. So I learned a lot from her. And then he went to a military college, so he's got more of a formal background, where I think I was a little more scrappy. So I had my own business as a makeup artist in the entertainment business, and there was just a ceiling, and I knew I could break it. And so when he and I met, we always had very entrepreneurial minds. So we were always looking ways to break it and move on and create bigger and better and more exciting things in life. So we started flipping homes. He was a licensed agent. We had 2 kids. I got licensed 14 years ago, and here we are.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just quickly, what area geographically? I know you guys are in the Valley now, being like the Calabasas greater area.
Mm-hmm.
Is that where it began or no?
No, it began in Calabasas.
Okay.
We were originally West Siders, and then we got married and moved over there. So we created and cultivated our business there.
Yeah.
But he was still working at that time. He was working at Jimmy Kimmel, I think.
No, we were on the west side. We lived over here in Santa Monica,
and
right? We had a place there, and then basically
worked at Jimmy Kimmel.
I was working at Jimmy Kimmel, and then I decided to get my license because I was doing mortgages primarily before her, and then before you and I met, and then I went to work at Jimmy Kimmel. First year, a buddy of mine said, "Hey, man, I know you enjoy writing. Do you want? There's a new show." Guy's coming to town, Jimmy Kimmel. I was like, I've never heard of him. He goes, yeah, a lot of people haven't, but they're going to give him a shot. You want to, try out and see what you can do there? I was like, let's do it. Let's give him a little let there. So we worked there. I worked there for a while. And then, just the hours of the entertainment business.
Oh, crazy.
And I said, if I'm working 14 hours a day, what if we were doing our own business and I was working 14 hours a day?
Yeah.
Wouldn't we benefit more in the same amount of time?
Yeah.
And we could be together and we could have more of a life, it seems like.
Yeah.
Then you get in real estate and you feel like, okay, now I'm working 16 hours. You might not have much of a life, but you have to carve it out as anything else. So that made all the sense in the world to us.
Yeah.
Tracy was a makeup artist, but those, when we started having kids, those jobs dry up a little bit, and you're a little bit of a song and dance trying to get people to, how are you doing this? And again, if I'm doing a song, we're doing a song and a dance, let's get somebody to hire us to do something that we can make money for our family and grow it. Mm-hmm. So all those things just seem to make common sense to us. And I'm a big common sense guy, so.
So when you moved to the Valley, did you have any roots there, or were you sort of recreating?
We were lost. We
actually, our first house, and I bought a house. We bought a house in Woodland Hills, right? Because on the west side, with that time we were going to buy a house, and I was like, listen, the only thing I can afford is a 2-bedroom, 1-bath condo in Santa Monica. This makes sense to me.
Yep.
So we started looking where we could fit, and Woodland Hills, bang for your buck for the same price. You could have a house, a pool, a yard, and a neighborhood. It's like, all right, this makes sense. So we move out there. We didn't know anybody, but luckily, we had great neighbors, and we just started meeting people. And then, one thing led to another, and here we are. And then years later, we moved up to Calabasas because our office was there, and we were spending most of our time there.
Yeah.
And
so when you were moving to Woodland Hills and you're trying to build your business, tell us how you were building the business. How were you generating leads? How were you prospecting? You didn't have any.
Because you started from scratch.
Yeah.
So how do you, and I ask this all the time because people come from one career to another, and the transition is never what people think it's, I have all these entertainment friends, they're going to buy all these houses from me. And then,
Yeah.
That's
100%.
such a misconception, I think, because everybody wants to get in it because they know people and they have friends and situations. And that's not really where you make your business. It's from the hard work that you're doing and people seeing outside of your sphere. Your sphere is a little bit at the beginning, but they're not really going to stay on with you. And who's going to give you, a new person in the business, their most prized possession of a home, to sell or to help them find. So you have to really, it was a job, man. It was.
We did. So I jumped in and I said, I'm going to sit open houses for 3 weekends in a row, Saturdays and Sundays.
Yeah.
And then I'll take one Saturday and Sunday off a month, spend with my family, kind of recouping, right? So you work 6 days a week. And that's what I did. So I set anybody and everybody's open house. I ended up getting with another team, and they had an apartment building that they were selling for a guy. And there was 22 units in that building. And I was like, David, we'd like to make you the front person of that building. I go, I'm there. They go, you need to be here, all this time. I was like, no problem. I'll set up my office. I'll work from there on a daily basis, whatever it needs to take. And so I was there 3 weekends, and during the weekend I sat there and I called from there, and people walk in, and, so that was part of building the business, because the truth is most of the people that stopped by, they never bought those units, but I picked them up as buyers so I can take them elsewhere.
Yeah.
And that was just building that, business for buyers until, you have enough
They become
experience.
sellers.
They will eventually,
Right.
yeah, 100%.
Right.
And I love the whatever it takes mentality, the initiative just to get in front of people and just do what it takes. Like, that's where so many agents just don't get it. A willingness to go above and beyond. And we always talk work with the willing.
Yeah, that's a great line.
one.
That's a
And
great line.
nowadays, then you've got social media, you've got all these other things, all these distractions, and it's always, thankfully it's a people business, because otherwise they'd put AI in to sell the houses for us, but it is a people business, and you guys got it from the start and got that training, but there's a piece of that just hasn't changed.
No, I don't think it has. It's all relationships, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, everything is relationships with she and I, with our daughters, with your families. That's what it is. And that's what, some are more challenging than others, but that's what makes it great, right? Yeah.
And that enthusiasm and the energy I love from
These
both you
guys,
guys is palpable. It's inspiring and it motivates others for sure.
Yeah, we had somebody told us earlier, like, listen, if you're planning on getting this business and you're going to sell your friends' houses, you're going to fail.
Yeah.
You're going to starve.
Yeah.
you gotta talk to people you don't know. That is who you're after, the people you don't know.
It's so interesting because you don't hear that often.
That's right.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's really like it's a focus on who you do know and just hearing your perspective, which is definitely new and different.
It's so good. We do this podcast and we talk to like great realtors, and I just, and then you hear something, right? How many realtors have we talked to? And you hear something, you're like, it seems obvious, but why is this the first time we heard it? And just that statement that you said is like, you'll starve to death if you think you're going to sell your friends' houses.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's true.
No, all the way.
Even today, we sell houses for friends and, people we call friends and we've made friends with, but we're doing a lot better by not selling, to people we don't know than people we do.
Yeah.
And,
And it's interesting because that becomes like the icing on the cake, the people you sell that you do know, as opposed to like not having that expectation, which creates that hunger and that drive and that initiative to like, if I'm just depending on that, I'm going to starve. So I got to make sure I go out and prospect and get to know people that I didn't know before.
100%. And being a husband and wife team, Tracy has a different sphere than I do. She's knowing moms or other working moms or when our kids were in school. That's how you did it. And then I could never get in those circles. So I just focused on the circles that I could and creating networking and calling up a car dealer, calling up a mortgage guy, calling up an insurance guy.
Yeah.
Let's get together and who you know and who I know. And then we can introduce each other, the two we don't know. So that's it. But you got in a whole different realm that I could have never gotten into, obviously.
Yeah. Bunch of moms. And by the way, moms rule the world. So I think everybody has to really take respect out of that, because I do think that while there may be the power brokers behind it, but there's the moms that really have an idea of what they want, how they see their lives with their families. So I think that is a piece of attention that doesn't get taken up enough. So
elaborate on that for a minute. So which is really interesting, like how, with respect to your business, and you're in essence saying the moms are, they're the ones that are typically, I don't want to generalize, like the keepers of the family. They have it when they're buying a property or selling a property, they're the ones that I don't want to make assumptions, so dig deeper into that.
There's two ways. I mean, because we just had this great sale with a celebrity, a female, and there's two ways. She's a single woman. She was amazing, and she had 4 other agents, top agents, well-known names, been on television shows, big agencies, and they couldn't get the job done. So I had been working a year trying to gain her trust, because I wanted her to know, we are not fluffy. We are the people that get the job done. Do you know what I mean? And I think there's a lot that goes into it for women. I think she was just abused enough that she was able to lean on me a little bit. And then David, who also is really important in the business, but I think it was kind of like me getting in there and being like, trust, give me a little bit and I'll show you. Do you know what I mean? Yep. So that was that. So that's a good portion. And then, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No. I didn't want to interrupt you. I was going to say, you talk about doing the extra thing and it not being, there's all this fluff. You got the television show, you got this, that, or the other thing. People think they need that, but then there's the hard work that makes it happen. But what is that extra that you're doing?
So when we took over, for instance, this one, there were 4 before us. The photos, we really took the time to look at the place and correct the things that weren't really working, where I think people were, she's a celebrity, we don't want to insult her and tell her certain things, but we were like, listen, if we create an entrance that's more attractive by creating, like a walkway of some, we just put some big pots with flowers and et cetera, and just doing a lot of little things.
Well, we also did I don't mean to interrupt you, but we also did the grand thing is that we stood back for a moment. We looked at all the other photos and videos.
Yeah.
And we go, what did they miss? What are we missing?
Yeah.
What is this? And then we really, and Tracy and I work well like this together. And Tracy and I always, we go with a buyer or seller and we listen, there's no ego here. Whoever they're attracted to, whoever they talk to more, I'm going to lean back. If it's you or if it's me, you're going to step back, because it doesn't matter.
No.
How we are serving them. Whoever they're drawn to, whoever they talk to more, that's cool. Yeah. That's cool. If they're used something, they're going to switch over. But this one was unique, is that we just banged our heads what are we missing? What are they missing? Yeah. And then this is a really fascinating part, great lesson for us. It was okay, here's what this property has. And we tend to go in and let's focus on what it does have. And then we said, wait a minute, where is this property dropping the ball?
Yeah.
How do can we overcome that?
Yeah.
And if so, how do we? And it had this long driveway that we were hoping, it took away from it, because most of them in this neighborhood, you drive up and boom, it's there. This one has a long driveway off of it, right? So we put together our team, we started balancing out ideas. How do we make this long driveway that's really not attractive? How do we feature that you're on the top of a mountain? And we decided, we brought a drone in. Sure. We put someone on a motorcycle driving up this driveway, drone shot over. It's actually her, so her long hair is flying in the wind, and it's a point that we were jumping for joy, because there's a point where it's oh, this grabs me the first time I'm seeing it. It's what this is a house? Wait, where's she going? What's going on? And I think that one blew me away. But it was one of the first times we looked at what do we like about this property, and how can we use that?
Yeah, you're taking the thing that really probably was a detraction and you're making that a highlight. That's a full
100%
full flip on a negative into a positive. And now if you've got the scorecard, it has all these good things, and then there's this one thing, it's a negative. You take that out, you're ahead, but you're taking that and actually using it as a plus.
100%.
It took a while to wrap our head around it, to be honest with you, because we're so used to just focusing on the positive and just highlighting it. It took a while, but once we did, we're like, no. this is a hit.
There were a lot of, God.
Sorry, I can't help myself. Like the problem is the opportunity to create the solution.
The obstacle is the path.
Right. I mean, that's that. I mean, it's
100%.
amazing how you view that. Like if you see the problem as the opportunity, then that's what it is. If you see the problem as a huge deterrent, then that's what it is.
Right. No, 100%.
You
say that's how we do.
And you have to fall in love with each of these properties for their uniqueness. Like you were saying, because there's so many properties, this one in particular as well, they were like, they love the big grand open floor plan. Everybody in this community has these newer builds. This one was a more unique, shorter ceilings, but more of a intimate kind of space, cottagey, kind of English Tudor. And it was stunning. So it's not for everybody, but you only need one. You don't need everybody, you need one. So that's the other thing you have to focus on. You have to really fall in love with that. And that's what we did. We created vignettes throughout this entire home of like beautiful, beautiful moments that would make people fall in love. And it was a banger.
I think in today's technology, today's social media, you want something quick, and you're highlighting, which is really works out good because you think that'd be a problem, but it's not. It's really, we're going to use that because now you're showing, oh, this is the outdoors, this is the pool, this is the driveway, this is the bedroom. Now you have a bunch of different vignettes for the same property.
Yeah.
And that's, I love that. I think it's fantastic.
And what you guys do clearly, and we talk about all the time, you're branding every property.
Yeah.
Like that's creating that emotional connectivity to find that one buyer. That's all you're looking for.
Yeah.
You know, how do you create that emotional connection to that particular buyer?
Yeah.
When I sit down and I talk to different realtors and basically, look, okay, sorry, they're a big court case. I mean, we all know commissions are negotiable. Okay, great. But you know, whether you hire this person or you hire that person or you hire over here, you know, the top people, they're going to get the commission, and you're essentially paying the same. And what you guys are talking about creating a story around the house and creating a brand around the house, it's just like you're getting so much more bang for the buck than you know, the realtor that has the television show, and because they have the television show, they think, oh, well, but your house is not going to be on the television show. And even if it were, the television show doesn't sell the house. And just like, it's all this noise, signal versus noise.
Yeah. That's a great way to put it. Yeah. Signal versus noise, 100%.
Yeah. So it's you guys. Tell us a little bit more about your team, whatever that consists of, and then maybe a little bit more about the nature of your business relationship and how you divide and conquer or whatever that looks like.
Our team, we have a photographer, a videographer, that has our drones. So we've worked with him for a while. We've gone through a lot of them through the years, but we found one that we like because, you know, when you work with someone so long, now I know what he's thinking when he sees something. He knows what I'm thinking. He knows what she's thinking. And we can be honest and share, I don't like that. No, that doesn't make sense to me. Like, help me see that. I don't know what the heck you're talking about. And I think that helps when you build that trust and nobody's ego or feelings are getting hurt. Like, we're here to create a great product, man. And a story, because you're right. Yeah. Everybody loves stories. How can we do that? So he helps us immensely. And then we have somebody else, because paperwork, Tracy and I realized we're more talking to people. We got to be out there. If you stick us with paperwork behind a desk, we are going to go mad. And you're losing money. And losing money, because that's not our best feature. And absolutely. You know, when we first started doing this, because we're both so outgoing, we're like, well, who's going to do that? Well, I don't want to do that. That's not my forte. I don't want to do that. So we were like doing a lot of this. So now we have people that handle all the paperwork. And so, you know, and they know there's certain things we lag behind on, and, you know, and we don't take offense. I was like, you can ask us 5 times for the same thing. I get it. I'm going to get to it. You don't have to be mean, but just tell me, I'll get to it. And so that team, that's that foundation of trust. And so, I mean, I don't know. Those are my 2 people.
Social
media, we have a social media person
who I just adore, and she's become very part of our. She's a slash assistant. She's amazing. She'll be at our Christmas party. But she's amazing, and she's like my right hand. I can text her at 8:00 at night and she will send back something right away. So she's incredibly hardworking, and she's just, we just feel so grateful right now, the space that we're in. We're just in such a really good space.
And then working together, It's challenging at times. It's
Yeah.
a husband and wife because you're doing everything together. You're raising kids together. You got
to agree on everything.
Or not.
Or
you got to smile.
And you
through
accept
it.
that listen, we're not going to agree with everything.
Right.
But one of us is almost always the lead, we call it, and it bases on who they reached out to
Gratitude.
first.
Yeah.
And so I'll say to her and she'll say to me, I go, here's how I would do it, but it's your decision because you're the lead on this one. I may not agree with it and vice versa, but you'll go here. I'm going to support you with this, but I'm here if you need it, and the same thing. And I think through the years we've worked on, that's been a challenge, right? Because
Always.
I think both of us are leaders. Both of us want to lead, whether it's our family or our business. And so, that's it. You're learning to take not necessarily a back seat, but the sidecar to somebody else because if they get the deal done. But you never feel like you're alone on an island.
Yep.
That's kind of a unique thing. It's like about marriage. When you're alone and you're going through life, everything is, it's good, but it's always nicer if somebody's right there. When you're driving down, you see this amazing sunset. So sometimes, if there's a client, he's challenging, I just zip it and I quiet and he's dealing with it. And I'm like, okay, that's your client. I'm going to stay out of this because I just know.
And we've learned to say, you know what? Right now, I'm not open to suggestions.
Because I'm like,
if you can just give me maybe tomorrow, we can do this. I'm sure you have great suggestions. But right now, I'm not in that space.
Let me give you my 2 cents.
That's a challenging to learn.
It's very, because it's rare to see co-leads, so to speak. It's very cool, right? So you guys are both like the rainmakers, and you decide on a case-by-case basis who's going to, that's unique because usually husband and wife, there's a lot of them, but rarely do you see that kind of dynamic.
No. I step back a lot. I think, especially in certain conversations where I think that people are more drawn to him, or I'll send him in, I'll be like, things aren't going, get in there and just, smile and figure this out for me. You know what I mean? Or vice versa. Or, design or photography or whatever, I'll jump in at certain things if I don't like the look. And I'm like, no, guys, let me just get in there and
because it is good to have a woman's perspective. And sometimes you walk into a house and they're asking you questions and I'm like, well, like this and that. I go, but I got to have a woman's perspective on this because it's just different. Yeah. Right, wrong, that's not the question or answer. It's just what that is. And then that's always helpful to have somebody you can trust to give you ideas. And sometimes we agree to those ideas and sometimes we don't. And I always laugh at the first property we ever flipped was in our neighborhood, like a block away, and I just built a relationship with a neighbor, and she wanted to sell, that kind of thing. I was like, what do you want for it? She's this. I go, okay, I'll give you that. And then I realized my strength was handling the financing and the sale and the purchase and everything, right? But where we butted heads was the design, because I was like, I want to be in the part of this design thing. But then I finally realized I have ideas. Tracy listening to those, but we went with her ideas because at the end I could see the vision was better. And I think that's our first taste of, hey, we got different strengths. Yeah. We need to be able to step aside and let the other one lead when that's their
And when
forte.
you go to a listing appointment, so typically you're both going, I'm assuming. Or not
necessarily. Not really. No.
Okay.
It's cool that you're not both going.
Yeah, no.
It's kind of about them and who they want.
He's got houses that I've never even been to. And closing deals that I don't even know about.
That's cool.
Okay.
And kind of some with me. I mean, more so I'll bring them in on certain things just because, we have many hats that we wear in our own home. You know what I mean? So
if they're doing everything together, if they're each taking different listings, it's double the power.
Oh,
it's double the power. It's double the, you just don't need to always be like, on everybody at all times. It's exhausting and everything.
Yep. So let me take a step back for a moment and talk about your productivity because it's pretty amazing. So our audience knows who we're talking to if they haven't done the research.
Like what's the best year? There's different years up and down.
It's up and down. I didn't know what our best year is. Do you know what our best year is?
I do. I remember, I would say, I think it was 20, I forget. This year will probably be the best year.
I was going to say, I think this year's probably going to be, if not our best, it's going to be top 2, top 3, for sure.
So tell us what that projection, because we're almost there, looks like in terms of units and volume.
Well, units-wise, what do you think?
No.
Maybe 35? No.
I don't know. Can we call the office really quick? Hold everybody.
Right.
Can we go? No,
Approximately 35
million.
Yeah. I would say that's probably where we're going to be.
Yeah.
We got a chance to push.
million.
Yeah, we got a chance to push it a little bit further. And, that's so funny that you asked that, because we've been talking about this, trying to keep a picture of that and know more of that, right? Because what the challenge for me is, I get in the day-to-day grind, the day-to-day hunting, and I forget about that because I'll count it when it's in, you know what I mean? And so one deal's in, and then my mindset is, okay, let's get the other one in. And then that one's in, okay, let me get the other one in. And I don't take as much time to see the big picture and where we are until we get to about this time. We have a running pipeline that we keep, that we can see in front of us, right? So it has who they are, buyer, seller. It has where they came from. Is this somebody we knew? Is this a referral? This is they call on an ad. Did they see a video? Because we ask people, how'd you hear about us? And the other day somebody said, oh, we saw you on Instagram. We go, boom, Instagram ad, boom, keep them up, right? And then the asking price, and then the close price, and then obviously the commission. So ideally, we keep that a running kind of total, but you still have to scroll down to get to the bottom number. I need to work that number so it adds up to that.
It's also a common theme for high performing people, is like the process, not as much focus on the result, but on the process, because the results are a product of the process.
I remember one time we had a great month, 20 million, and I put it out there on social media, and I was like, yeah, we got 20 million. And we were just like, you take that moment to be braggy, and it seemed like that kind of took the wind out of it. And then all of a sudden, it's like winning the Academy Award, and then all of a sudden you don't work for a year. It wasn't like that, but it just didn't seem like it had that like, ooh, that it was supposed to. So you just kind of have to you don't put the number on it. You got to put the hunt, man, the hunt.
It is the process, it's the outcome. I'm a big college football fan and sports fan, but that's what a lot of the coaches, that's what they all preach, right? Just the day-to-day process, man. You just focus on that, the rest of it to take care of to the self. But I would like to know, that we just had that conversation. It's like, I really need to know more of what that big number is, I think, to keep a tally in my head. And I don't know. Maybe I start that and I figure out, this sucks. I'm just let's close some deals. We'll add them up. Get somebody else in charge to say that.
Give it a try. Create a scoreboard. And if that works for you, it works for you. If it doesn't, it doesn't. What are the activities that generate the most business for you?
We send out a ton of flyers. Never think they work, but they do.
Yeah, flyers are good.
We get flyers.
Social's great, but
social media. We've started this year noticing people coming to us more from social media than ever before.
Interesting,
right? But it kind of equals it up, because I started doing videos, my own stuff, but I think it's more we invested into that, then the numbers went up. So that makes sense, right? So we've seen that. I do a lot of networking groups. I start my own. I belong to them. Some of them this past year, I've gotten really good about cutting some out, because some of them are just, the truth are, they're fluff. And I'd rather be home with Tracy and the girls, or I'd rather be having dinner with her one-on-one and laughing or joking or seeing a movie. So I'm trying to cut those out, but I have my own. In my neighborhood, I started one with all the guys in my neighborhood. So we can go out, we have dinner together once a month. Dinner and drinks, we'll laugh. Sometimes it's 3 people. We did it last night, it's 3 of us. Sometimes there's 12 people. And I was like, I don't care. That whoever shows. I just want the people who want to show. We in our neighborhood, we belong to a lot of the committees and boards. And then we try to volunteer as much as we can. And you're really great at that at the schools. Anywhere with being around with the girls.
One of the exercises that I love to do with people is just the more of, less of, and you wouldn't be surprised, but I like that you're measuring on each piece, like, where did the business come from? Because one of the things that I do, even with very seasoned agents, if they say, hey, can you come and take a look at my business? I'll give them a homework assignment. I'll say, okay, well, take the last, because a couple of years have been weird, with the market, take the last maybe 4 years and go to every single piece of business and figure out where that piece of business came from.
I saw you did a podcast on that.
Yeah, probably. And it invariably, I have never done that where somebody wasn't like, I can't believe it. I thought I was getting, I thought this was doing more for me, and, and really I'm getting a lot over here. And that can help you do more of and less of, and it just can make your time so much more productive.
I 100% agree with that. We talk about that a lot, and we do at the end of the year. We kind of do a total of like, wow, and it's almost always surprising when you say that where it came from, because you think it's coming from someplace else, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is fantastic.
Yeah. I also think that David, is more of the sales person. So if you were to talk with him, he's more of the sales guy. But I think I'm the non-sales salesperson. So I can get deals closed by not talking sales. I can just get the job done. So people feel very trusting of me. So I think that's been a lot of deals is because I'm not talking about it. People will have a situation, they'll come to me and say, what do I do? What do you think? How does this look? You're a professional. And so I don't talk about it in my women's groups. I mean, a ton of different like friendship groups, this, that, and the other. And I just feel like sometimes it's the not having to go out there and tell all the knowledge that I have. Let me tell you about real estate. And let me tell you, I think it's you can kind of see, and it's the quiet sales close, which is a really great one.
But, and you know what? Also, I find that people, one of the things Josh and I will ask too is like, what is your superpower? And different people have different superpowers, and different people connect in different ways. And sometimes very social people will connect in a very social way. And other times people are very sort of analytical, and when you're on your own, I'm looking at somebody, I'm trying to figure out, are they analytical? Are they social? Sometimes you'll have a couple and you're like, okay, well, this one's analytical and this one's social. And they don't want to hear all the detail. They want to hear, it's going to be great. And then you say, it's going to be great to the one that's analytical. They're like, we're going to strangle you, like, what do you mean? It's all good, I've had it happen to me. Salesperson, comes to me and my ex, and she's all analytical, and then he's like, "Oh, it's all good." I'm like, "Oh, it's all good," and she's like, "I'm gonna kill him," right? What does he mean? It's all good? Like, okay, so it is that different. Yeah. Those different styles, so it doesn't surprise me at all. Okay, so here's the problem solving. Here's here's what we're gonna do, and then there's also the sales side, which is the feelings and the connection and all that sort of thing.
I've read a lot of books about that, and they say, well, you're focusing on your strong points and making them stronger, or you're focusing on where you're less strong, trying to get those up there. No. I thought it was that way, but it's not. You've
so many people.
That's you just assume. I want to be a perfect 10, and so that means out of these 10 things, I'm really good at these 5. I got to these 5 equal, but it's just the opposite.
No. Make your strengths so strong that your weaknesses become irrelevant, and you think about the top performers and anything. They're extraordinary at that one thing, and likely they're pretty bad at everything else, or mediocre. Right. And it also gets back to you earn the right to delegate. So when you're so good at something else, that's what distinguishes you. Then you have all the resources to go hire the other people to do all the other things that you're not at,
And if your CPA got a C in the English class, you're like, that's all right. Right?
We don't care.
You don't want the copywriter to get a C in the English class. That's bad.
That's what we told our kids growing up. I was like, let's just focus on what you're good at, and we're going to just push into there more. Lean into that. Yeah. Right?
It's not taught nowadays, but that is the truth. Yeah. I mean, if you're, we think in our household, if you're an A+ student, it's just because you follow direction well. We don't like to follow direction.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
no, that's great. No, that's right. Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
You've just fixed my childhood. I appreciate that. That's
all. First one's free.
That's all I needed there, because I was in a household where we had like amazing academic performers, and I was as smart as them, but I couldn't sit still in the seat long enough. And I'm getting the bad, he's not paying attention and he's not speaking without raise. I had more demerits at my little private school,
That's the same way. That wasn't going to sit and learn. I wanted to do.
Yeah. Society is designed to, like, in essence, homogenize, right? And like big time and conform. Yeah. Like, come on. That's not what leadership is.
No.
And greatness is. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not conforming.
Yeah. Everything.
At all. But that's 100% true.
What does the future of your business look like? What are you guys? I know you're focused on the process, which is amazing. Yeah. But if you were to take a step back and say, like, hey, what would the ideal world look like next year? What does it look like 3 years from now?
Oh, that's a great one.
Well, I mean, we're looking to buy businesses right now as well. We want to have other things
that complement real estate. We talked about this, to complement what we do now.
So we want other businesses that are going to, we also love teaching and, we love giving back and, trying to explain to people that, it's really hard work and listening and, doing all these things that just people forget on a daily basis.
So I'm a big sports guy. So the sports saying, and I got this from a coach, and he said, "Best is the standard." Mm-hmm. So then, okay, so what is our standard? Like, what is things that we're going to do? It doesn't matter if it's an up market, down market, sideways, higher interest rates, low interest rates. What is our standard? And then that should translate into, it doesn't really matter what the market is. Here's what we're going to do. And this is where we, I think, set ourselves apart. So when we go into a place, when we're talking to them as a buyer or a seller, here's what we do. Because this is what we've done. This is our standard. And it's the best. And that's what we're trying to develop that. So I think the future is bright. We're super excited about it. And in our business, people get all tied up in, and the interest rates and all this. And we just try to keep that focus on that. It's going to be exciting. We've gotten through them all. We went through short sales. We went through financial crisis and all these challenges. We talk about this a lot. We talk about it with our families. Like, sometimes I think we all think that we try to avoid challenges and problems and pain in our daily life, right? But that's just the opposite. Yeah. Like you said it earlier, something about the obstacle is the way, right? Mm-hmm. And so whatever those challenges are, we were good about reminding each other, okay, this is a challenge to push you to the next limit. Yeah. Your challenge is different than my challenges, than your challenge and your challenge, but each one is the same. Pushing it, we gotta lean into. So that's really, and to my opinion, that's what I'm looking forward to, is what's that next challenge that's going to be laid out upon us. I just signed up for a physical challenge. I'm going to climb the equivalent of Mount Everest. Wow. Right? 36 hours to do it in Utah, climb a mountain up. They ride you down, but I got to go up. I think 15 or 19 times. Each time's 2.3 miles. I got 36 hours to do it. I start at 6 a.m. on a Friday morning. I got to be done by 6 p.m. on Saturday night. And I don't know if I can do it, which is why I do it. I'm a little afraid. So I think that's where we're going to lean into that, which I think propels us to make it even more exciting. We don't know where that is. We always set our numbers and every stuff like that. But
we all have infinite potential. And the more we challenge ourselves, the more we recognize what we're capable of. And some people understand that and embrace it, like you guys, and others don't.
Right. Okay, so I'm going to ask Tracy.
Okay.
And then you get to ask David.
Sounds great.
Right? And then we'll just move down the list. Tracy, and the fire round is, these are deep questions, but we're not going to get into it, and you just like, whatever comes up, we'll go with it.
Okay. Quick answers. Quick questions, quick answers.
So Tracy, what is your idea of perfect happiness?
My idea of perfect happiness, I would have to be really family oriented. We want success for our kids. So I think it's family. It's a happy family, but they have their lives, and we're helping them create it. Just like we push them in their jobs. They're in college, first year and third year, and one is a musician, and so she is a gangbuster, and so we're creating a life for her. We're saying, listen, this is we're going to introduce you to having a life. It's not just a job, but this is your life. And then the same thing with our little one, who's just starting in her journey.
What's the attribute you most admire in others?
Kindness.
Love it.
What's an attribute in someone else that you like the least?
I don't like liars. I mean, it's a really tough one. Yeah, not really into liars.
What's your greatest achievement?
My family.
What's a quality you most like in a person?
I don't want to mirror David with kindness, but I mean, we are drawn to people that are, just kind to you and outgoing and lend a hand and do things like that.
What's a talent that you love to have that you don't?
I wish I could throw the football 80 yards.
Wow. How far can you throw it?
I'm afraid to answer. 20?
I was a college quarterback, so.
I play college football, lacrosse, so I get it.
What's an insult you received that you're most proud of?
I mean, I hate to say this, but I'm a ball buster. It's true. Yeah. But I kind of love that. I wear it with pride. I want to push. I just think pushing is important.
Because I know you guys so long. I know who to ask that question to.
Exactly.
I love it.
Who do you most admire?
Probably Jesus.
What's your most treasured possession?
My kids. Yeah, my family, my kids. Yeah. I'm sorry we keep going back, but that's who we are, man.
Totally.
What's your most fond childhood memory?
Fishing with my parents.
What talent would you most like to have?
Oh, man.
Not throw a football 80 yards?
No, it's not going to be that. I'm sorry. I would love to be able to sing on a stage. My daughter is a singer, and I just go, wow. She does it with such an openness that you're just like, wow, I wish I could do that. Yeah.
When you experience a challenge, what moves you through it? Who do you think of? What do you think of when you're experiencing a challenge, which I'm sure you do all the time?
I'd probably think of my parents because they achieved a lot.
I would ask this to both.
Yeah, I'm going to ask the same question to both of you, but I'm going to give a pause because I want you to come up with I don't want one of your answers to influence the other. So it's a question for both of you, and then when you both say, I got my answer, then we'll listen to it, okay? So it's funny that David said he's going to climb this mountain 36 times. So there are some great hikes in LA, and you get up, maybe it's the 36th time that you get up that hill, and you're at the top of that hill, you've made this great accomplishment, climbing all the way up there, and you look down and you see your family, and you see your friends, you see your clients and your neighborhood and your community, and you shout one thing. What do you shout? Except for don't say it, because I want you guys, when you both have your answer, then you can say, I got my answer, and because I don't want you to influence each other.
I got it.
You got yours?
No. No. Sure. I got mine. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh gosh, you guys, way to call me first. He's always better. He's so much better on camera, by the way. Mine would be I made it. I think that's important. I just want to tell people I did it. I made it. I made it. I'm here. I'm
So
able
nice.
to. Yeah.
Love it.
Mine would be we made it.
I love it. See?
I told you.
But now you guys are amazing.
You guys are so much fun. You're easy to work with. Oh my God.